Good evening and welcome from Championship Field in Seattle, Washington. It is WAC regular season decision day here in NCAA Division I women's soccer. And on the WAC Digital Network, I'm Andrew Harvey alongside my father, Jim Harvey. And Jim, lots to consider as far as the postseason tournament is concerned, but the most pressing thing for these two teams here tonight is the WAC regular season title. Seattle University REDHAWKS playing host to the Utah Valley Wolverines. If the REDHAWKS win, they will jump Cal Baptist in the standings on 19 points and claim sole possession of the regular season title. If Utah Valley win, they will tie Cal Baptist and share the regular season title. It all comes down to the next 90 minutes.
No question about it. And it also has the playoff implications in terms of the top seed in the tournament, which, as you know, makes a big difference. Beautiful night for soccer. It's been a beautiful fall, crisp day here in Seattle. It's about 51 degrees. One of the other things that Coach Woodward talked about beforehand is, she has 38 players on her roster, but she can only take 22 to the tournament. So this last game is going to be important for both coaches to figure out who are their final 24 that they're going to be, or 22 that they're going to be taking to the tournament, which is next week.
Hi, this is Julie Woodward, the Seattle U women's soccer coach, being joined by Paige Madison, Rachel Bowler, and Jessie Ray. Well, I think leading up to this game, we had a great week of practice, knowing that the regular season conference championship was on the line and the number one seed in the tournament. We had a great week of practice. A lot of emotion surrounding it, knowing it was our senior night and we were going to honor all of our seniors. But I would always say the coaching staff, including the players, love to be in a situation like that where something's on the line and knowing they had everything within their own control. So fabulous week leading up to it and just an exciting night. But I was looking forward to senior game, especially because of the seniors we are graduating. And I think each one of them has sort of written their own story, but I just think such great examples for our program. And if you look at the success they've had on the field, they had success in the classroom, and you could find a couple of them. You could ask Jessie, who's on here with us. You could ask Rachel about their freshman year when they weren't probably getting the minutes they wanted. And it was through their hard work, their commitment, their dedication, and they just kept getting better and better every year. And I think in terms of leadership, all of our senior class, they just did everything right. They were great examples and representatives of the program. And senior day for me, again, was special because each one of them just contributed so much in so many areas and were such great examples for our younger players and helping pass our culture and tradition and values along. So they left us a gift. So this night, I wanted us to win for them.
Obviously, with it being senior night, it was really exciting to have such a big game on the line. I think in past years, the senior night hadn't meant so much. So it was exciting to have the opportunity to clinch the regular season in a game with such high emotions. And obviously, having all the seniors' family there and celebrated before the game meant a lot as well. So we definitely really wanted to clinch the regular season title and do whatever we could to put ourselves in a great position in the next week during the WAC conference.
Yeah, senior night had a lot of emotions for me. Just when I was a freshman, looking at the seniors playing on their senior night, we always won, and it was just a huge crowd there, and everyone was cheering for the seniors and the whole team. And I was pretty sad playing for my last game.
I think for me, with this being such a crazy game or just an intense game, like I've never been in a situation with like so much on the line. And so like I was just so excited and like just jittery and like my heart's beating fast right now just like talking about it. Like it was just an incredible experience, and just like being with the seniors because they were all just had a really big impact on my experience. And I think with it being senior night, it was just like, for me, I wanted to like play for them and just like give them the best that we could because it was such a high stake game.
With this game, just the pure emotion as it's just like my freshman year, senior night, it wasn't as important as my sophomore year because I feel like you get a chance to know the girls better, so it's a lot more emotional. So it's just the idea of being able to go in and that you could help your team win and support the seniors in their last game. It's just a huge emotional experience, and I don't know, you just wait the whole game waiting for that number to be called, and when it does, it's just like the greatest feeling. You get like a rush of energy, which I have a lot of, so it's just exciting.
I think that UVU is always it's always a big game, and we know they're always going to be very good, aggressive, and fast. And so I think that this is probably the most talented UVU team I saw in my 4 years. And we knew it was definitely going to be a great matchup based on how they had played other teams in that season. So as always, we knew that they were going to give us a fight. And I think that Seattle U kind of has this target on our backs at all times. And it's definitely no different with UVU. So always knowing that they're going to give us a good game and be very aggressive and quick.
Not only were we playing an important game in terms of winning the conference championship, I think senior night for me is probably one of my favorite games every year. And I believe I said it earlier, but a chance to just honor our seniors for everything they've contributed to the program, and then tying in, being able to play for a regular season conference championship, and the type of athletes I have the pleasure of working with at Seattle U. These young women live for games like that. They want to play against some of the best teams, and UVU has always been, one of our big rivals. We always have a great game with them, I think, since we've been in the conference together. So I was very thrilled with the way it worked out. And, I felt the moment we left the locker room, we do a big senior day event in the locker room prior to stepping on the field. And if somebody asked me then if we were going to win the game, I would have bet my life on it. So it was a great night.
Yeah, Utah Valley content to put 5 or 6 players right inside the 6-yard box, which is always stressful for the goalkeeper because there are people in the way, they're not making runs into the box, at least that first formation on the first corner kick that we've seen tonight.
Hall back for Bowler. Ray gets that touch around Bruce. Bruce recovering well quickly against Ray, who's into the area here. Her cross comes behind Leahi Manthai. Manthai still gets to it, gets a shot off, but it's blocked at the point of attack. Jessie Ray dribbling in against Bruce, and the Wolverines manage to get it clear. We suspect we might see this level of end-to-end action for as long as the players' conditioning holds out, Jim.
Yeah, and they're both very fit and very fast teams, you can tell. Very agile. So this is going to be an end-to-end battle.
DeWall from distance, and Wagasback has it covered at the right post.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a odd shot, and Wag did a good job of getting her body down behind the ball because it hit just about a yard in front of her save. Those are the kinds of balls that can very easily, create a misjudgment on the part of the goalie and an easy goal.
Through ball. Gets beyond everybody. Wagasback will pick it up under pressure from Cassidy McCormack. Another ball over the top. Met in the air by Vogel. Hall brings it down. Falls to Bruce on the near side.
You can see Utah Valley is very aggressively competing for balls and pushing forward. I'm noticing that they're holding midfielders. The defensive midfielders are pretty aggressively stepping forward to challenge and win the ball. So this really creates some opportunities for the REDHAWKS if they can string together a couple of passes with a counterattack.
Rojas can't get to that ball.
Yeah, that's an example right there where, the outside back makes a run and aggressively goes out, wins the ball, and pushes the attack.
Manthai heads it past her defender. Going to try to outrun her. Falls in the middle for Ray. Very little in the way of support. Ray has to go herself, and her weight just too far back there.
Yeah, but you don't mind that. You want to make sure that the goalie at the other end is knowing that Jessie Ray is very comfortable shooting from 25 yards out, and you never know if she puts that on frame. It could be a very challenging save, or maybe even a goal.
I think our coaches do such a good job preparing us and giving us a game plan that Hula and I really just wanted to make sure that we were the first line of defense, and if we get our line set, then it will make the people behind us have a much easier job, and it will keep us as a unit playing together. And so while, of course, we wanted to score the first goal and set the pace early, we also wanted to make sure we were organized and doing what we could up there to help our teammates behind us.
This is a huge game against Utah Valley. We're always really close with them on the score line. And I guess having a veteran backline and having that leadership go throughout the whole field is really crucial, especially with Liv and Kelsey both being captains, and Holly all in that back line being captains. So that helps us all keep our focus and make sure we don't make mistakes that are very crucial in the game.
I think going into big games like this, like the mentality that I have is just staying focused the whole time and keeping my concentration, so that because it's hard to just throw yourself out there on the ground or do whatever, sacrifice yourself. And I think that's something you really have to concentrate on the whole game, because it's easy to get distracted, especially with these huge crowds. And so I think that was just my main focus for this game, because there was just so much on the line.
There's Amber Tripp, unable to link back up with Heather Stainbrook. Still might fall through for the Wolverines, who have just been swarming the REDHAWKS anytime they're on the ball.
Yeah, they're very, very high pressure, very intensely. They're competing for everything and being relatively effective at it.
Stainbrook wide for Tripp. Her cross over hit, gone out for a goal kick.
Well, 12 minutes in, there's that initial intensity. You wonder how the game is going to settle out. But right now, I'd say that the Wolverines have more of the run of play. They're certainly competing more quickly for 50-50 balls and winning them. So far, no one's really had a very effective shot on goal. So it's very interesting midfield play, but not much to show in the attacking third for either team.
McCormack ties up with Gina Lead along the far side. Ball smashed downfield, courtesy of Michelle Adam. A low cross in this time. Adam blocks it. Still falls for McCormack. She drops it off. Shot drilled and blocked. Hall comes to Ray. You seldom see Jessie Ray dropping this deep for the REDHAWKS, but she has to just to get on the ball. She'll go ahead for Manthai. Manthai runs on that ball. She's beaten Shepard. Can she square it for a cross, though? Manthai back toward Ray. Tied up by Amber Tripp, who charged back. Rothering over toward Rojas, who flips that ball forward. Hall can't get there. Comes right back to Rojas. And in the end, a rather ineffectual shot.
It was a great through ball by Jessie Ray, knowing that Manthai's got that speed and was making a good diagonal run. And it was a very dangerous opportunity. She fed it back, and unfortunately, one of the Wolverine defenders got in the way of, a shot. But still, that was probably the most effective attack that we've seen so far. Certainly on the REDHAWKS part.
Wow. Well, COVID-19 for me personally I think there's been some silver linings, and I think it's been challenging. I think one of the biggest things I realized is how much I love my team, and I miss my team, and I love my job, and I miss my coworkers. Silver linings, I think, there's been a lot more family time in such a fast-paced world. I know that all 4 of my kids are home, and the never-ending cooking, cleaning, dishwasher running, laundry machine isn't always fun, but a lot of fun nights for that. And in terms of the program, we've been together on a Zoom call. We've put a few of them in charge of smaller group Zoom calls and send out a training program. I think something I have a lot of faith in our team and the types of young women I'm able to coach, where I know they're going to do everything they can to put themselves in the best position for when this all ends and we're able to get back on the field again. So I think just relying on some leadership and some individual motivation is good. And, we preach so much in our program about balance, and it's something we talked about with the team the other day, to make sure they're enjoying their time with their family, make sure they're committed to their academics, make sure they're committed to their training, and just letting them know how much we love and miss them and we're here for them.
Well, I think just coming back, like finishing my sophomore year and not being able to have a spring season, it's been difficult for me, at least, just because I had surgery right before this whole thing started, so I didn't get the rehab or even like the team play. I missed some of that at the end of winter, so that's been super tough, just feeling like I'm not able to like have the practice that I wanted. And I think like the most difficult part with it being a team sport is we lost so many leaders on our team. Like the senior class was so just strong for us, and they taught us a lot and brought the culture that we all came to this school for. And I think the hard part now is not being able to connect as a team without our seniors. And so that will be just like these Zoom calls and the small meetings are what's kind of keeping us able to bond with each other for when we come back for the fall season.
Definitely difficult with this whole COVID thing and not having a graduation in June and probably not going to have it in October, because that's just a part of my life that I haven't really processed or closed yet. And so that's pretty sad and difficult, but, talking to my parents about it, and we are grateful that I actually got to finish my senior season, unlike other sports or even like basketball, who didn't even get to play in the NCAA tournament. Like, to me, the NCAA tournament is like Trump's over season. Like, that was the most special moment of my life. And so it's really sad that winter and spring sports don't get to experience that, especially for the seniors.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's been hard to accept that this is my senior year is going to end, and definitely grieving the loss of a lot of fun celebrations. But also, looking back at this game now and thinking about reflecting on the past season, I'm very grateful that we were able to play this season and I was able to have my senior year, because this was probably one of my favorite seasons yet, just in terms of all the exciting games and the fun that I had with my teammates. So while I am grieving the loss of being able to close this period of my life in a normal way, I'm also very thankful that I did get to at least close my CLU soccer experience with my teammates on the field.
A really good season, and in the last couple of games we've seen her be involved in a lot of build-up plays that resulted in dangerous scoring opportunities and goals. So we would look to see more of that from her.
There's more. Gone ahead for Carter, who's upended and wins the free kick. Bruce runs up, plays it quickly on the ground for DeWaal. DeWaal cuts it back to the left side. Her shot blocked, that time by Kelsey Vogel. Jessie Ray a chance to dribble free. Being tracked all the way. Has Manthai cutting in. Gone ahead for her to flag up for offside. A very near thing.
Very close, but it was absolutely the right call. Had Leahi made slightly more of a diagonal run, she might have been able to time it perfectly, but it was just a little bit off.
And the referee has stopped the clock as well here to have a word with Leahi Manthai, who might have vocalized her frustration with the call.
First of all, whenever there's a penalty kick taken, the odds are in the favor of the shooter. And we had WAG stop a huge one earlier in the season. And, you know, I have that most confidence in her at the same time, recognizing that, okay, the odds are probably in their favor. And I think for me, it's more just hoping she's, you know, relaxed and confident and recognizing that she has a little bit of control, but she doesn't have a ton of control in terms of that happening. But again, either way the outcome comes, whether she saves it, it gives us momentum. Whether they score, I think my team, including WAGs, always respond so well.
In like all penalty situations, I just like to clear my head and just not get in my head, because that's the worst. And it just makes it so much harder. So I just like to relax and just confident in myself that whichever way I dive, that in my head, like, I'm going to save it, whether I pick the right way or not. Ooh. Yeah, so with my process, I like to, like, see how they line up with the ball. But sometimes, yeah, I was about to say, like, right now, like, with the way she's lined up, I would go the way I dive. But I think if there's like give and take, like you can recognize like the way that they're lined up and like say like, okay, like odds are they're going to go to the right or to the left. But I don't know, like it's pretty hard to read their own head and like see what they're going to do. So I just like to recognize how they're lined up and then make a decision. To an extent, I'm confident in the way that I'm going to dive, but I know that the odds of them scoring, like a penalty shot should be scored if you're kicking it correctly or placing it correctly, because of just the odds of like how big I am in a goal and how close they are shooting. But then there's also the side of like, I can recognize how they're shooting and then using my abilities try my best to save it.
Bruce cuts upfield against Farnham. It's Moore.
So after going down a goal, the rest of the half remained deadlocked. Obviously, Wags had a big save at the end of the first half, which I think gave us a little momentum. But again, I stated this previously, but I still felt the way in which the team responded and was playing what was in our favor. They definitely knew that there was another half to play. We did regroup at halftime. Thought we went into the second half with just a great attitude, great emotion, and I think ready to start that second half.
But in the end, just out for a goal kick. Finally leads to a substitution the REDHAWKS have been waiting for quite some time. Raquette Leosdottir and Casey Laboda bringing Ray to the sideline. But again, there's 20 seconds left in the half. So the extra rest won't really play too much of a factor.
True enough.
Appeals for handball. 4 seconds. Leosdottir. And the horn sounds for halftime. The penalty conversion in the 20th minute by Brianna DeWaal has Utah Valley up 1-0. We'll take a break here on the WAC Digital Network. Welcome back to Championship Field here on the campus of Seattle University in Seattle, Washington, where the REDHAWKS trail the Utah Valley Wolverines 1-0 with the WAC regular season title on the line, or as far as the Wolverines are concerned, at least a share of it with Cal Baptist. Really quickly, other scores from around the league. New Mexico State, 3-1 winners over UTRGV. But CSUB is leading Grand Canyon University 1-0 at the half. And Grand Canyon University has the tiebreaker on head-to-head over New Mexico State. So as things stand, New Mexico State will have won on the final day of the season and still miss out on the postseason. REDHAWKS, meanwhile, have to overcome a very talented and extremely fast Wolverines team, Jim.
Yeah, no, they're very impressive, the Wolverines. They're organized. Their pace of play in particular is the thing that I'm the most impressed by. Their first touch is high quality. They are organized and they know where their teammates are going to be. 1 and 1-2 passes, 1-2 touch ball. The only thing that I can see is that sometimes they depend on the long ball, which may open up some space for the REDHAWKS to build up a productive counterattack. You have to say that the penalty was the one difference maker, but that the Wolverines had the pace of play and most of the run of play, but I do believe that the REDHAWKS had the more dangerous buildups.
And that penalty was won by Tripp back in the 20th minute. Converted by Brianna to Waal. Free kick given along the far side.
Yeah, the AR on that side was clearly indicating a foul. It's too bad because Manthai was behind the defender. Had she been able to control the ball, she could have really created a dangerous situation.
Bowler forced to move the ball back. Free kick sailing in. Headed clear, and Amber Tripp helps it on its journey. Here's Tripp past midfield with room to work. Coming square, ball's behind Carter. Leahi Manthai looking to stretch things the other way.
It'll be a free kick. Hold a foul on Manthai for an aggressive move to the ball, and the defender fell over.
Shoulder to shoulder hit at midfield there, contesting the ball in the air, Rothering back to her feet. Goes out of play for a Wolverines throw-in.
Nice play back to diagonally.
Benedetti does enough to win the ball. Can she do anything with it? The cross blocked out for a corner.
That was great hustle on her part to compete, keep the ball in, and then eventually win the corner kick. And you have to feel that Seattle U's best scoring chances are going to be on a set piece like a corner.
It's Rachel Bowler for the outswinger. Loose at the back post, skittered off the head of a Seattle U player inside the 6, but they couldn't direct it on frame.
Yeah, that was a great opportunity right there. Well, the pace of play has not changed. We were remarking that at the end of the first half, that they were still going full speed, and they're still going full speed. So it will be interesting to see if either team's fitness level drops. Obviously, Utah Valley plays at altitude. That will stand them in good stead, having dropped down to sea level.
Michelle Adam wants the ball over the top. Bruce is there. Crosby trying to work it wide. Manthai unable to link up with Crosby. It comes all the way through to Ali Hara.
Still, it was a good idea. Just a little bit overhit on the pass. And it was a good run on Crosby's part. Well, that's 2 balls in a row onto 13th Avenue.
There are very few downsides to having such an urban located stadium, but that can be one of them. Remember, the production team will be around shortly. Here's Manthai dashing in from the right side, a low cross. Only as far as Benedetti on the volley, and what a stop from Hara.
Well, great save and a great shot. Another yard out to the outside, or even half a yard, that might have been a different result. But that was a great save. I mean, not only to dive, but to catch and control. Excellent play.
Tripp. Back for Stainbrook. The switch for Bruce. Bruce at a full gallop. Too much behind that ball out for a goal kick.
Again, there you are with Manthai back 70 yards playing defense. That's one of the advantages that you have when you have very fast outside backs that press the attack, because it makes the forward have to come back and guard. Otherwise, they can go in unchallenged.
Vogel, the short restart to Adam. Off the ball over the top, headed along and bounces in harmlessly to the hands of Hara.
Yeah, I know that Jessie Ray wanted to make that more of a crossing header than one just skidding off her head toward the goalie, but they're putting together opportunities. They're just not executing that final bit of quality that you need to create the goal-scoring opportunity.
Now the flag up easily there against Jessie Ray. Ball just came 1 or 2 touches too late.
Yeah.
Not really Crosby's fault there. She had to take the time to square her hips to it, though.
No, that's true, and this is one of the challenges when you're a forward, is knowing how to time your runs, and one of the things that virtually every forward I know can improve on is learning how to bend their runs and time them so that they don't put so much pressure on the passer.
Cassidy McCormack coming back on, as it looks like Brianna DeWall will switch back to the left side. Bruce up to McCormack. DeWaal. DeWaal's cross, looking for Carter, headed away that time by Vogel.
That was a great play by Vogel, because had she not been there, there was a very anxious Wolverine forward ready to nod it towards the goal.
Adam forced to deal with the back pass. Wolverines looking to secure this ball. One back by a retreating Moore. They'll hit it back to Hara. Crosby goes on the long run, forces a 50-50 ball. Hula Manthai. Playing on the dribble, she's laid it off for Ray, who may have been offside anyway, but it goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, she was a little slow to make that pass, unfortunately, and then she put too much on it. But, you know, they're creating opportunities. You just get the sense that we're going to see another goal or even two before this match is over. They're both playing at such a high level.
Leet, back to Wagasback. Ball over the top for Ray. Bruce has it tracked, so does Hara. Actually come out of her penalty area to play that ball with her feet. Moore wants the near side for Carter. Carter won't get there. Crosby in against Haskins. Shepard sends it clear. Clever turn there from McCormack, lays it off for Carter. McCormack fighting to get that ball back. Crosby up as far as Benedetti. Well-weighted ball there. Races down the touchline, does Benedetti. Ray moving into the middle. She squares it for Manthai. Manthai ahead for Ray. The ball's taken her wide. Ray's cross to the head of Benedetti. She brings it down, plays it off her thigh. Goes out for a goal kick.
Still a very nice 1-2 in the back middle part of the middle third. Created that opportunity. It was a really nice combination play with Benedetti, who then cut it across, and it was a nice passing combination. Again, just getting closer.
Tripp doesn't have to hold that ball in the near touchline. McCormack lays it off to her. Recovers a second time, does Tripp. McCormack. Carter. Carter into the middle, was looking at Stainbrook. It's knocked away. Ray edges past Shepard, who recovers quickly, and it's broken up as it comes through by Sullivan. Two players tie up. They're both slow back to their feet. Advantage played in favor of Utah Valley. Carter charges forward, slices the ball for goal. It's tipped over by Wagasback.
So from this play, I just remember, well, it was right after halftime, and so like from halftime, it was a really good time to regroup and all, and just kind of nail down like we're gonna win this game. Like that was my mentality, and so I think having a save kind of it gave me even more confidence, like going in, like, okay, like we got this. And then, yeah, it's just, I think anytime making a save gives off good energy, at least for me. And I think it's nice to feed off of that and then really, yeah.
I think that save by Wags is just a testament to who she is as a player, you know, to have a PK against her that we gave up. She made a great effort at that, but then to come back and keep the game at a 1-0 game was pretty amazing, and it shows a sign of her mental toughness for sure.
Another ball loose. That one should have been 2-0. It bounces right in front of Shepard, and she can't convert. And we've crossed the hour mark here at Championship Field. Utah Valley leading 1-0 over Seattle University REDHAWKS. Ovenel. Ray going through for Manthai. Manthai racing onto this ball. She's past Hara. Manthai! 1-1! Leahi Manthai. Time to run correctly that time.
I'm not sure I remember much. I tend to black out during big plays, but I think I just remember the ball coming to me kind of in the air and seeing Hula run through and knowing that I didn't have many options, but as Hula does, she's always very good at running, and so I was counting on her to get to that ball, and it worked out in the end.
Well, you know, first and foremost, after tying it up, I thought I would sense a little bit more. I don't want to say everyone being relaxed, but I think they actually turned it up a notch. You know, they were playing well. They were playing confident. I thought we had a lot of momentum at this point in time in the game. And to get that tying goal, I think just gave everyone a little bit of reassurance in terms of, okay, we got this. And Hula, again, you know, Jessie makes a great pass to her. And Hula in a 1v1 situation or open field is pretty lethal. So as soon as Jessie got her that ball, I think everyone was pretty confident we were going to capitalize on that.
About the situation for Seattle U is they've done it out of the run of play. It wasn't a penalty kick.
Ovenel trying to link up with Jessie Ray.
And as we mentioned when we thought back on the first half and even so far in the second half, while the shots look even, I think Seattle U has shown the more dangerous combinations and the dangerous shots.
Crosby trying to bring that ball down. Falls into Ray. 3 defenders around her. Nearly laid it off. Bouncing Wagas back. McCormack recovers it. Here's Utah Valley backline screaming for the switch. Brianna DeWall was all by herself out there. Instead, they find Bruce. Her bouncing shot into the hands of Wagasback.
Well, now with 27 minutes left in the match, with Seattle U having tied it up, it's going to be a very interesting end of the game here, because both teams are still playing at this high level, high pace. I haven't seen either team slow down, so should be a fun wrapping up of this last regular season game.
The long throw, Ray giving chase. Ray caught that too squarely, out for a goal kick.
Yeah, she just couldn't get her hips around. You'd like to be able to approach that ball at an angle, and she was going straight at it and then requiring to turn her hips is just too difficult to do.
Benedetti battling Sullivan. Ball out to McCormack. Now they find Tripp. Waal moving up the far side. She gets the ball. The overlap from Bruce. Waal will cut in, however. Bouncing through traffic, Michelle Adam gets a foot to it. Tripp fights her way free. Vogel sends it clear.
Yeah, Tripp is a very dangerous player. I mean, she's incredibly fast, but also very quick-footed, great moves, and is a very deceptive player. Rachel Bowler thought she had her contained, and instead Tripp had the ball and almost created a great scoring opportunity.
Ray checks back to the ball. Finds Ovenel. The back heel pass springs Gina Leet. Ray drifting into the middle. She's got space, but the pass won't reach her.
That was a fabulous play by Benedetti. She has had a really nice match so far tonight. Very deceptive, simple play. Too bad that Leet rushed her pass.
Here's Carter. McCormack calling for it. Carter plays herself in, though, has a go, and puts it high.
Yeah, very dangerous opportunity. A great shot, unfortunately just over the bar.
Still hardly any substitutions for either one of these sides as we tick into the 67th minute. McCormack bodies up on Vogel. Goes for Carter. Now for Tripp. Tripp. Big touch from her. Second time tonight she's dribbled the ball straight into touch. Too fast for her own good, Jim.
Yeah, on the other hand, there are plenty of other opportunities that she's had on the field where she has created opportunities by that same speed. So you can understand why she plays it so far out, because she's that much faster than most of the players around her.
This is Tripp once more. Her cross is low. Wagasback can't get there. It's turned in. The ball rolls in. I think that's going to get credited as an own goal. Last touch coming off Kelsey Vogel, but Utah Valley back on top in the 67th.
Yeah, I think Wagasback mishandled the ball, and the Seattle U defender trying to turn the ball out, in fact, deflected it in. An unfortunate situation, but with 23 minutes left in regulation, you don't get the sense that Seattle U's holding their head down. They're ready to go.
So 2-1 Utah Valley with 23 minutes and 20 seconds to play. Here's Tripp. Wolverines trying to strike while the iron's hot.
It was a smart play by Leet because it had been deflected, so she saved it from going over on the corner and just knocked it out to touch, giving up the throw-in as opposed to the corner kick.
Amber Tripp looking to settle that ball. Shot blocked on its way through, coming off the foot of Moore. Crosby turning back under pressure. To Waal, wide for Tripp. Ball gone out of play. Free kick given away there. Holly Rothering chopped down for the second time tonight. Back underway, clock moving with 21:14 to go. Bowler. Inside for Crosby. Crosby cuts back to her right foot there. There might have been space. And a free kick given. Amber Tripp going to get booked here. That her third foul of the night. Maybe not too much in the specific foul, unless, of course, she just said something to the referee.
No, I don't think so. I think, quite honestly, she was lucky not to have gotten the foul, the one that she pretty much spiked Rothering. I'm sure when Rothering got up, she said something to her, and that may have been the reason why that call ended up with a card.
All these opportunities massive now for the REDHAWKS. Rothering and Benedetti over the ball. It'll be Benedetti to strike it with the left foot, curling in. Hara pops it down, but it comes right back to her hands.
It was a good shot and it was on frame. That's what you want to see on a free kick, inside of 25 or 30 yards. Don't sky it. Don't put it past the post. Make the goalie make a save.
Moore for Tripp. Try to work it to Carter. And goal kick given. Oh, pardon me, the ball never left play. I thought that one had crossed over the line.
I actually think it was a good decision on Wagasback's part to handle the ball, because you never know.
Benedetti still putting in work here against Haskins. Cross there. Shepard turns it over to Benedetti. Benedetti, a touch to her left, rolls it through. Was Manthai onside? The flag stays down. Manthai trying to step topside now, looking for room to shoot. And the Wolverines clear their lines once more. Here's Gina Leet. She'll race in against Carter. Pressure coming from Stainbrook, puts it out for a throw-in. Michaela Morey on for Kelsey Vogel. Lee throws it down line, looking for Leahi Manthai. Tries to send it right back. Can't find her.
You get the sense that Seattle U has just been focusing on bringing the ball up the left side, and I'd like to see them switch the point of attack and attack down the right with Bailey Hall.
Manthai wins that ball. Hall drifting forward. So is Crosby. The ball comes through. Might still fall here for Hall. Crosby arriving to it, but as is Moore, and it's cleared away by Utah Valley. The figure, I believe, of Jesse Ray waiting to check back in for Seattle University on the far side. Meanwhile, Rothering presses forward. Finds Benedetti. Benedetti, some space to her right. Runs past the sliding challenge. A low shot, and Hara equal to the task.
You have to like Benedetti's attacking mentality. She really pushes and creates opportunities. That was a great 1-2 past two defenders. The shot not as much as she would have liked to have gotten on it, but still a really good play.
Ball into space for Tripp. Still running on fresh legs here in the 74th minute. And referee stopping the clock here to come over. Brianna DeWall going to get the talking to. But, Jim, really, if you're going to stop the clock there and warn for delaying the restart of play, shouldn't you also caution?
I would think so. But part of the reason why you stop the clock is so that everybody else on the pitch knows that the warning is not just for her, but it's for everyone. So that may have been on her mind.
Benedetti pushing forward. Leet coming for the overlap. She's picked out Manthai. Manthai, a broad turn. Hall dropping back to Bowler. Rothering back inside for Bowler. And smashed away by Sullivan. Through ball there looking for Crosby. Crosby dropping that back. Here's Bowler. Her shot is low and blocked. Crosby over the top for Manthai. Hara gets a hand to it, still has it loose. Hula dribbles free, tries to drop it back to Crosby. Frantic defending from the Wolverines, but they get the ball out of their penalty area. Gina Leet cuts inside against Stainbrook. Dropping that ball into the back post and parried away by Hara.
Very nice combination play to set that up. Utah Valley extremely lucky not to be tied at this point. Meanwhile, Jesse Ray continues to be on the sidelines.
Under 15 to play. 16 shots apiece we've had in this match. McCormack takes that ball out of the air. Trying to link up with Carter. The ball downfield finds Hall. She's going to go over the top looking for Manthai. Shepard, the first one to it. Manthai sticks in his shoulder, though. Can't quite win it away. SADLU just struggling to find each other in the attacking third. McCormack stood up. Crosby's gone down. Maybe a little bit theatrically there.
Yeah. Well, McCormack is an extremely good target player. I mean, she rarely loses the ball. The ball was rolling, so the ref is having him come back and restart the kick. At some point, you wonder how long is this going to take to get Jessie Ray in. We've had balls out on the sidelines.
Crosby.
A beautiful ball.
Looking for Hall. Hall gets way behind that cross. Benedetti back across the face of goal. Crosby right in front of it. Headed out by Crosby, who was vying nice and hard for that ball in the air. Couldn't get there, and that'll bring Jessie Ray back on.
Well, as we said before, we didn't think that we were done scoring. It's now 2-1. And I would still not be surprised to see another goal scored on one end or the other. It's one of the more entertaining games I've ever watched. They are really going at it full speed, very organized, very skilled. Great college soccer.
Hard charging tackle from Michaela Morey there. Gives away the free kick. Takes down Brianna Waal in the process. Jocelyn Bybee will check back in and expect to see a lot of substitutions over the remaining 11 minutes of play here. One of the feasibilities you have in college soccer is you can quite literally grind the clock.
Beautifully weighted pass.
Lee trying to pick out Crosby in the corner. It's turned there. Turned there twice by Haskins. Sullivan. Ovenel gets a foot to it. Rothering completes the takeaway. Crosby. One away by Tripp.
Beautiful pass.
Van Thigh up the far side. Low ball in. Hara is there. And has it covered up. Well, a scores gone final in the CSU Bakersfield Grand Canyon game. CSU B winning 1-0 over GCU, which has both those teams qualifying to the postseason, with Grand Canyon holding the head-to-head against New Mexico State, whose win today winds up not counting for anything. So the lower part of the bracket is determined. As it stands right now, Utah Valley poised to claim the number 1 overall seed as they lead Seattle U 2-1 here with 9.5 to play.
This is my favorite spot in the field for a free kick because the goalie has to stay on their line, and if the ball is served between the 18 and the 12, or even the 12 and the 6, the goalie is faced with a very tough decision. In addition, the defenders will end up facing their goal.
The kick on the way. A lot of traffic in the box. Hara comes for it, doesn't get there. Benedetti through traffic. It's blocked. And that one sent over the bar by the REDHAWKS. More subs for the Wolverines. Cassie McCormack, who just subbed off, will sub back on now.
Yeah, this is pretty much game management on the part of the coach.
Credit to Chris LeMay.
Absolutely.
It's the right move.
That's exactly what you should do.
And were the situation reversed, we could likely expect Julie Woodward to be doing the same thing with her REDHAWKS. 50-50 ball on the far side to Waal, just knocks it out of play.
Well, you really get the sense that Seattle U is stringing together some great scoring opportunities. They have now leading the shot count 19-16. But 35 shots on goal is a lot in a soccer match.
Bruce lays that ball forward. Go up top looking for McCormack. Ball going through. Controlled by Ray. Ball's gone out of play there. It'll be a Seattle University throw-in. 6.5 to go. Maury going to get some extra yardage.
We know she has a really good long throw.
Heaves that ball in. Finds a friendly head. It's cleared by Amber Tripp. Adam serves the ball back in. Gets way too much of it. And another substitution. Juliana Carter will come on for Bybee here.
At some point the referee needs to warn the players coming on and off to get a move on.
REDHAWKS going to make a change. Mackenzie Curry subbing on here in senior night for Madison Wagaspack. She'll go the final 5 minutes.
So with a few minutes to go in the game, we put Mac in goal. We have Wags step off, put Mac in goal, and we're still down in goal. And part of that purpose, there was a little bit of strategy behind it, and a little bit, again, I said on senior day, I have so much confidence in each and every one of our players. They all played this evening. Put Mac in. Her kicking probably is a teeny bit better than Wags. She plays off her line really well, and we put her in just to play off her line in terms of almost having an extra field player. And Mac has just been a tremendous person in our program and a leader. I think she's always carried herself so well. She's always shown up to play and train, and she kind of went through every sort of situation you can imagine in her career. She started some games, she didn't start some games, she played in some games, she didn't play in some games, and I think she always gave her heart and soul and so much to the program. So it was just so great to get her into this game, and she played well in her moments, and everyone on the field contributed that day, and everyone on the bench contributed that day. It was a great team win for us.
My mindset at the last 5 minutes in the game when we're losing is, whenever we have the ball, kick it forward and hope it goes through and hope the forwards can run after it. And I still want to play defense, but my mindset is always to get into the attack, so always pushing up. And I know that my center backs are strong enough that if I'm not back or recover enough in time, that it will be okay because they're there to help me. But my mentality is just to attack.
Well, I just felt like at this point in time in the game, I just remember we had a lot of momentum, and I thought everyone was playing extremely hard. I felt like it was a matter of seconds. It was, we'd had so many games that season, and we'd been in so many different situations. We'd been up a goal where we'd held on. We'd been down a goal where we came back, and I still had a lot of faith in the team at this point in time. And Mick is like a brick house, and she is somebody I would want in front of the goal anytime.
Yeah, Mick does. I think with whenever there's a scramble in the box, you just want to do whatever you can to get the ball in the back of the net. We were all hunting for it. You can see, I think it was me, Michelle, and Mick were all there trying to get the goal, but Mick ran through like a brick wall that she is, and made it happen. So it was really exciting to see her get that opportunity and kind of show the leadership she's going to bring next year on the field.
I knew, whenever I stepped off, I knew. I was like, we're going to win this game. I don't know how, but I know we're going to do it. And so, just watching, we're all standing, and it was really hype. And we're all like, oh my gosh. And then just seeing Mick run through them all, we all went insane. And it was just, awesome to be a part of.
Just a mad scrum. And the WSOC has rallied, manages to pay off here. Still 2:30 to go. This game wide open now. Seattle U smells a bit of blood in the water. Crosby gone ahead for Ray. It's a long ball for Jessie Ray, and too far for her.
But it still is a nice idea.
Let's take another look at that goal. First of the year, and what a time to score it here on Decision Day. The ball up to Carter. Utah Valley still dangerous, and now they've come out of their shell. Waal to the head of Tripp. Mackenzie Curry now in goal. Holds that ball in play and will have a chance to pick it up.
But with a minute 30, you think just put a good long foot to it and hope to get it into the offensive third. That's exactly what she does.
Benedetti, it bounces behind her. Crosby runs onto it. 1:15 to play. Ray calls for it at the back post. Crosby looking to serve it to her. Instead, it's right at Hara, but she spills it. And you have to wonder if Hara might be inside her own head a little bit right now.
Well, she has given up a couple of rebounds, but it looks like we're going to go to overtime with 1 minute left, unless either team can put something together.
We're in the 90th minute. Here's DeWall. She is stood up by Ovenel. Quickly down the line for Jessie Ray. Ovenel intercepts once more. Short to Crosby. Manthai slides in, recovers the ball. 20 seconds left. Ahead for Ray. The flag stays down. Wanted the quick ball to Crosby. Won't find her. The countdown on. And, well, with a match this close, it just wouldn't be fitting to settle it any other way. We finished 2-2 through 90 minutes, and we are bound for overtime here at Championship Field. We'll take a break on the WAC Digital Network.
It's kind of like when the game is so close and it's like dwindling down and you know that you might not have a chance to get in. You're kind of just waiting for the coaches to finally say your number, but there's not a lot of hope left for yourself. So it's kind of like your job is to cheer on the team. It's just getting everyone to stand up. And of course you're like a little sad because you want to be able to get in and help in that way. But you know, you do so much just being able to cheer everyone on. You can, when someone gets the ball and starts running, just you being able to yell at them and cheer them on, it just gives the extra oomph that everyone needs. And so even though it's kind of disheartening at times, it's like it's such a cool experience to be a part of, and you get to cheer on the people that you love so much and that you've gone through the whole season with.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely go through waves of, especially on an emotional night like this, looking at the time and feeling stressed and like the pressure's on, but also having the confidence in my team that we won't stop playing until that final whistle blows. And so you could just see the fight with everyone on the field, that we weren't giving up and we weren't going to let them win this game easily. So we felt like they hadn't quite earned the goals that they had been given, and we had earned everything we had gotten on the field. So we just kept fighting and had hope that we would get it done in the end.
Well, she had that one remarkable save that, quite frankly, saved the game for her team. But I've seen a couple of bobbles that, could have created some bad opportunities.
And after tonight's match, both these teams have locked up first-round byes in the WAC tournament, so they won't have to play until Friday. And the way this match has gone, Jim, you have to think they'll both be thankful for that.
Without question. We did check with Coach Woodward and ask whether Utah Valley was just going to stay in town, and that is their intent. So whoever wins, they're both going to get rest and have an opportunity to work out.
Failed clearance comes to Waal. Just frantic play to open this overtime period. Ray turns past Shepard. Gone down line for Hula Manthai, but even Leahi Manthai's foot speed won't get to that ball.
Yeah, that was just too vertical and too far ahead, but good opportunity, good idea. Ray is so skilled at turning the ball.
McCormack. There's Tripp. Gene Elite. Shouldered off the ball by McCormack. They both go down in the heap. Thumps downfield. Shepard is underneath it, but so is Leahi Manthai. To the far side, looking for Benedetti. Hits it too narrow. Sullivan giving chase. Does enough to get the ball away. Over to Bruce. Up to McCormack. The Waal. There's Stainbrook. Cleared out by Michaela Morey. Second ball on the pitch. Cleared away without issue. Thrown into McCormack. Bowler gets a foot underneath it. Brought down by Moore. Gone ahead to Crosby, who's past Bruce. Great feet has Kelsey Crosby. Ball just seems glued to her boot. Rothering Into space for Ray. Popped up looking for Leahi Manthai. Hara off her line. Drops underneath it.
Seattle U looks like they've got a little bit more energy. I think that late goal really has given them a more aggressive attitude.
Ray pressing forward. Manthai stretching the back line. She's going to make the run. Ball too long for her. And Jim, we're saying that, not to say their pace right now leaves anything to be desired, but some of the sting has gone out of this Utah Valley side.
Well, you got to like the competitiveness of both teams, but right now Seattle U is really standing their players up, poking from behind, just like that one. They called Manthai on that. I'm not sure I would have, but still, you've got to like that intensity. They're competing for things all over the field, and everyone is a little tired, so the chances of a mistake go up.
It's the one run you don't make. It always comes back to haunt you. Hara smashes that to the far side, bounces into the fourth official's tent. Rothering, pressure coming. She'll step into space, slip it up to Crosby. Bowler on the overlap. Crosby has a go herself and doesn't get around it.
Yeah, in that case, I think I would have rather have seen her punch it out to the outside, but,
Manthai, well, didn't seem to be very much in that from Leahi Manthai, but the free kick's given.
And I disagree completely with that call. She stood her ground and the other player fell over. That's not a call I agree with.
Free kick on the way from Bruce. Curling in, bounces off McCormack. Carter can't get there. Tripp trying to control it. Stainbrook blocked right away by Leet, loops that ball wide for a goal kick. McCormack. Bowler in hot pursuit into the corner. And Bowler comes away with the ball. And a goal kick's been given. Well, both assistant referee and center referee are signaling a bunch of different stuff. It's not clear what's been given. I think finally they've settled on a corner kick.
Yeah, and I think the AR on the far side made that call. See whether there was a deflection on the part of Bowler or McCormack. I'm not convinced about that call at all.
Low set piece coming in, redirected in front of goal. And the REDHAWKS into space. This ball going to roll out of touch. Rothering. Back for Ovenel. Manthai. Stainbrook. Still great foot speed at this stage in the match. REDHAWKS choose to possess. Go to Bowler. And wider still to Manthai. Bowler. Rothering. The ball seesawing from side to side, sliding in as Carter. She wins it. They drop it back to Tripp. Hit it back toward McCormack, but there's just no support for her there. Bowler gives away the free kick. But you have to say, you mentioned it, Jim, the REDHAWKS look to be the team on fresher legs at this stage.
I think they're motivated. They can sense it. They'd love to take first place and remove all doubt. Nice play by Crosby to take the pressure off.
Ray trying to back up her defender. Falls through to Sullivan. Doesn't get much on that clearance, but does enough to get it to Bruce. Crosby back into space. 25 seconds to go in the first overtime period. Carter stood up. Finds McCormack and then Stainbrook. And now Tripp. And Tripp tackled by Leet. Tripp fights her way free. Sliding in is Leet, a free kick given. And the clock going to stop with 8 seconds left. Gina Leet slid in to get the ball off Tripp and has given away a free kick in a very dangerous position. Brianna to Waal, who scored the penalty kick way back in the 20th minute to start what's been an entertaining offensive match. Was setting up for the ball. Now she's going to leave it for Stainbrook, possibly for Bruce. 8 seconds on the clock. Enough time for a rebound. Stainbrook, low ball, lofted in. That one loose, bounces into the hands of Wagasback. And that is going to do it for the first overtime period. Still 2-2. We'll take a short break and return with the final 10 minutes.
Meeting with the team in between the two overtimes, the team can't leave the field. And at that point in time, I don't even think as a coaching staff we discussed tactics. I think it was more a matter of probably not even visualization, but just assuring them and phrasing that we're going to win that game. And I know I've said this before, but I think the momentum and the energy was clearly in our favor. And I almost wanted that first overtime to last a little bit longer. And even with the time ticking down, I think as individual players and as a team, you're just always thinking, okay, we've got this, we're going to do this. So holding my breath a little bit as it was getting under 1 minute, but still believing definitely.
Well, personally, towards the end of the overtime, I was dying because I wasn't in the best shape going into the game, and pretty sure I rolled my ankle in this game, and my bruised foot, so I was just not feeling it. But the team really helped me push through, and there was so much hype and energy going into the last couple of minutes that I knew we were going to win it, even though there's seconds left, because we have been in that position so many times. And just like our fight and grit, I just knew that this was probably going to be the best moment of my soccer career.
Probably a good karmic reality given that particular call.
Kelsey Vogel checking in for Michaela Morey. They both scored goals tonight. Vogel's unfortunately was into her own net. No fault of her own. Just took an unkind touch off the back of her heel after the ball got beyond Wagasback. That was the go-ahead goal. Michaela Morey punched in the equalizer in the 83rd. Pardon me, the 88th. This falls for Carter. Carter surging forward. Her cross from McCormack, still loose. Wagasback rolls over right on top of the ball.
I don't know what Wagasback was thinking about making a foot save there. That's a really dangerous place to give up a rebound, but she was fortunate there to get it back. It rolled right back to her hands, so a lucky break.
Two Utah Valley players clean each other out. REDHAWKS come away with the ball. Benedetti
Beautiful
gone ahead
pass
for Crosby. She has options. Plays it wide. The flag immediately up for offside. Leahi Manthai cut out once more.
Yeah, and it was really close, but she has to learn to curve her runs a little bit better than she has been.
Benedetti runs through a sliding challenge. Can't step through the second, however. Tripp lays it down for Carter. And gets the return. Now switches, looking for Stainbrook. Moore. Carter. Crosby, what an engine on her. Still working. 2 players down as the ball goes away. Carter and Ovenel both sluggish back to their feet. Meanwhile, to the left side, it finds DeWaal. DeWaal's cross. Searching in, McCormack there, so is Vogel. And it's sent downfield. Wagasback races out. Won't get there. Corner.
This time in the match, any kind of a corner kick at either end is a very dangerous situation for the defending team.
Low ball in. Wagasback a save right on her line.
And there you have it. Great save. And also an equally great shot.
I think that was Shepard, the center back, that got a foot to it. And Shepard staying up in the forward line here. So it looks like there's been a shift for the Utah Valley Wolverines. Into space goes Leahi Manthai. Shoulder to shoulder with Bruce. Giving away the free kick.
On the other hand, I really like that aggressiveness on the part of a forward. He's doing the work to win the ball.
Flag up for offside as the Wolverines came back to play the ball. Vogel going to wave her teammates forward. Under 5 to play. Ray, this bounces through. Might be on for Crosby here. Crosby settles it. Hara dives on it and covers it. Crosby had to go with that first touch.
One too many moves there. She should have tried to chip the keeper. Took that last touch and lost the ball as a result. Great
Up the
play.
line to Benedetti. She's been quiet in this overtime period, but we know how dangerous she can be. Goes down, wins the free kick. Pressure on her back. They're going to go quickly. Ovenel ahead for Benedetti. Jessie Ray lurking in the middle. The ball in toward Ray. The flag up for offside. And right away, Utah Valley sends it the other way.
Both teams making quick play, quick restarts.
Carter can't get beyond Leet. And Leet draws the free kick.
Yeah, when it got to like 30 seconds, I actually started crying on the field. Because I didn't want to settle on for a tie because we worked so hard throughout this whole game and through our whole season for the senior night game. And I just did not want to settle for a tie. I wanted to win it all. I wanted to win it for my team. I wanted to win it for my seniors, for our coaches, and for our family. So I was pretty sad on the field. But when Paige came in, she just had like such a presence. Like, she was sprinting for the ball, even though it was obvious that the goalkeeper was going to get it. So I think that energy really helped us keep going through the last 30 seconds of the game.
I definitely remember feeling really awful after this play, knowing that I could have ended it right then and there. But then later, when I got another opportunity, I think I just saw Paige out of the corner of my eye. I don't even know how I saw her, but recognizing that she was open and that the goalie was going down and wasn't expecting me to pass it to her, it worked out, and we didn't let her get another one of those saves.
As a clock was ticking down in the second overtime, I mean, so much I think back to our week of practice, and Paige, we had a finishing practice, and Paige is a clinical finisher, and I love having her being the one in front of the goal, having an opportunity. And I think something about Paige is she constantly, I mean, I remember last year, even when she had a broken leg, we traveled her to the conference championship and NCAA tournament game just because she has such a presence and positive attitude for our team, whether it's on the field or on the bench. But I remember looking down our bench and I knew she was warming up, and we were getting some chances in front of the goal. I felt like Jessie was breaking free. I felt like Hula was breaking free. And I knew if we got the ball on Paige's foot, it would end up in the back of the net. So just had a lot of confidence in getting her in the game. And, you know, for her to play that big of a part with such few minutes in the game, I just thought was pretty incredible.
Well, when they tell you to warm up, you don't actually know that you're going in. It's kind of like a warm up, but you're not sure that you're actually going in. So it's just kind of warming up, hoping I'm going in. You're praying that your name gets called a second time in the little system. And but when they finally call your name, it's like the whole bench just starts rallying for you, because it's kind of like all the bench players are hoping that we can each get in. And so it's just the feeling of going down and giving everyone high fives and knowing that they're putting you in for a reason. It's just kind of a really cool feeling, but also very scary because you don't get the chance to warm up with the ball. You don't get the chance to get passes in. So it's taking the chance on me that I can do something right away, which is just, it feels like a lot of pressure, but it's why we all do this. You want to get on the field.
With it winding down to the last 30 seconds and just seeing how the ball was down on the field, I was okay, this is it. We got this. It's going to happen.
Crosby, who's done everything right tonight, mishits the most important pass of the evening. Still might be on here. Crosby brings that ball down, squares it. Ray is onside. Jessie Ray for the win for Mom! The REDHAWKS are the WAC regular season champions! In overtime, 110th minute, Jessie Ray, the little layoff to Paige Mom, and the REDHAWKS take down Utah Valley 3-2.
Wow, what an incredible finish.
Yeah, I think it was almost kind of shocking and unnerving how much space I had, and there was no one around me. So it kind of threw me off a little bit, but just recognizing that this was our opportunity and seeing Paige come through and knowing she had the wide open net in front of her and dishing it off. But my first thought was that I had blown it. So if you see me look at the referee thinking that I had messed up, but I was very happy to see everyone rush the field and that pure emotion came through right away. So definitely a special moment.
I mean, I knew we were low on time because when I went in, I knew there wasn't that much time left, but I did not know there was 20 seconds left on the clock. I had no idea. I don't think I looked at the clock at all. And in that moment, I can feel the moment right now. I can feel all the emotions, and it kind of went all eyes on the goal. Just everything kind of blacked out. And so I didn't really have any conception of time, but I think that's the fun part of it. It was just kind of just you and the ball. Yeah, just at the beginning, Crosby takes one touch where then you're kind of oh no, what's going to happen? And then she finally gets her second touch to Jessie. It's just kind of I don't know if Jessie's going to pass or not, but I know my job is just to frame the goal and run towards it. So as soon as Jessie passed it was just screaming in my head, don't miss the goal. It's I have one job. I'm just really happy. It's something I had never experienced before. I mean, we played in some really cool games, and I wouldn't say that this is the biggest game we played in, but it's just the feeling of that I was the one that did it. You always see your friends or like your teammates score these big goals, and you're always really happy for them, but secretly you're always a little jealous or a little like, I wish that was me. And it was kind of like that was my moment. And there's nothing about my college career that's gone easy for me. And so it was just like this moment kind of made it all worth it.
Oh, God, it was such a rush of emotions. And watching it back, I have butterflies right now because what an exciting moment. Like, what an exciting game, too. And I don't know, I was just so happy in that moment. I was so happy to celebrate with my team just because we worked so hard for this moment. It feels so good to deserve that huge win on a big night.
Oh gosh, Paige's goal, I think that night in general was just an incredible night. And obviously, I think all of you know that I've been coaching for a very long time, and that had to be probably one of the best moments in my coaching career. And I think not just so thrilled and happy for Paige, because you always preach to your athletes about being ready for their opportunity. And, Paige was coming off a pretty solid freshman year until she broke her leg in that game. And I just think her commitment to rehabbing and her selflessness of always putting the team first, over probably her wants, they all want to play a ton. And again, being ready for that opportunity, and for her to get the goal, for the team to win on senior night. And I think just such an epic game, winning an overtime game with 18 seconds left in the second overtime. It was just a great night in general. And I think that feeling carried over from pregame in the locker room to the field, and everyone contributed. Like I said, whether they were playing, all 120 minutes, or they were playing 1 minute, or they weren't even playing and they were cheering their teammates on. But I think that's something that the team had been pretty great at all season was, their selflessness and always trying to put the team first. So watching Paige do that made me incredibly happy for her. It made me incredibly happy for the seniors, and I think just incredibly happy for the team in general. But winning at that point in time in the game, I think the back and forth of the game being a high scoring game, I think there are so many different elements, it being a senior game, it being for the conference championship. There were so many different aspects of that made it such a great game. But hands down has to be one of the best regular season games, I've been a part of as a coach. And I remember, I would say large moments of that game, just wishing I could bottle that energy, the feeling, watching the players. I mean, it brings a tear to my eye just to think about how hard they worked. And it sounds so cliche, but you always hear, the never quit. It isn't over until the final whistle blows. And that game was a great example of, belief and never giving up. And, I go back, I have that clip, Brian, you sent it to me. It's on my phone. And whenever I'm having a day where I need something to cheer me up, I play that last clip of Paige's goal, and you can hear Andrew's voice, announcing in the background. It's one of the greatest things in the world. Thank you, everyone, for watching our replay. Please come out and support our team this fall season.